After the fall of the Qing dynasty in 1912, the last imperial dynasty of China, the country descended into complete fragmentation. Various warlords established regional governments, plunging China into a chaotic era. In 1928, Chiang Kai-shek of the Kuomintang finally succeeded in reunifying China, or so it seemed. Though the country was momentarily patched back together, powerful local warlords still held significant autonomy and influence, posing ongoing threats to the central government. Chiang Kai-shek sought to stabilize the domestic situation and strengthen centralized power. To achieve this, he once again used force to suppress the warlords who opposed him and launched a campaign to eliminate the Chinese Communist Party, which was causing turmoil within the country. Through 5 consecutive encirclement campaigns, the communists were pushed to the brink of annihilation. For the last campaign, Chiang appointed Zhang Shuiliang, once the warlord ruler of Manchuria, who had lost his stronghold to Japan and was left disheartened, as commander of the operation. However, Zhang's forces suffered devastating defeats at the hands of the Red Army, and deeply moved by the communist slogan, "Chinese should fight Japanese, not each other," Zhang secretly negotiated a ceasefire with the communists. When Chiang Kai-shek traveled to Shaanxi to pressure Zhang for his failure, Zhang made a bold move. He detained Chiang in what became known as the Xi'an Incident. Zhang, along with senior KMT figures and Chiang's own wife, urged him to cease the civil war and prioritize fighting against Japanese imperialism. At first, Chiang refused, even going on a hunger strike, prepared to die rather than give in. But ultimately, he relented under collective persuasion and agreed to a united front. The Red Army would nominally come under the command of the National Revolutionary Army, forming the Second United Front against Japan. In 1937, the Empire of Japan launched a full-scale invasion, starting the Second Sino-Japanese War. Chiang declared an all-out war effort, rallying not only nationalist leaders, but even communist commanders to join the fight. However, once the war began, the communists largely withdrew to their mountain stronghold in Yan'an, preserving their strength rather than engaging in direct confrontation. The Japanese, recognizing the nationalists as their main threat, largely left the communists alone. For the next 8 years, the nationalist forces bore the brunt of the brutal war against Japan, enduring staggering casualties and destruction until Japan's eventual surrender, assisted by US and Soviet intervention. When the war ended, Chiang proposed peace talks, offering the communists a place under the nationalist government. However, the communists, having built significant industrial power in the 5 northern provinces once occupied by Japan, and having kept their military intact, flatly refused to disband their forces or surrender their autonomy. With negotiations collapsing, the Civil War reignited in June 1946, even though the nationalists had not yet recovered from the immense losses of the war against Japan. Early in the renewed conflict, Chiang's National Revolutionary Army made significant advances, even reaching Harbin and inflicting severe damage on communist forces. The communists, meanwhile, lobbied the United States, portraying the nationalists as warmongers. Concerned about a potential Soviet intervention and the risk of sparking World War III, the U.S. warned Chiang that further offensives would result in the suspension of American military aid. Desperately needing U.S. support to rebuild the war-torn country, Chiang ordered his top commander, Bai Chongxi, to halt the advance. This pause allowed the communists valuable time to regroup and reorganize their forces. During this period, the communists, with Soviet support, acquired vast stockpiles of weapons, military facilities, and factories abandoned by the Japanese in Manchuria. Recognizing the region's crucial industrial value, Chiang refused to withdraw and instead ordered his elite troops, many trained by American advisors and equipped with modern U.S. weaponry, to hold their ground at all costs. But these forces, already strained by poor supply lines and isolated deep inside communist territory, were systematically encircled and destroyed by the People's Liberation Army, PLA. With Chiang's best troops wiped out, the morale and cohesion of the remaining nationalist forces, many of them loosely unified warlord armies, quickly crumbled under PLA offensives. Ultimately, Chiang Kai-shek was forced to retreat to Taiwan. Unable to overcome the U.S. Navy's blockade, the communists halted their pursuit, and the front line stabilized. Thus, the Chinese Civil War effectively came to an end, with mainland China under communist control and Taiwan remaining under nationalist rule, a standoff that would shape East Asia for decades to come.